celebrates the smaller channels who are working to bring down the code to protect human rights. Scooter Mom celebrates the smaller channels, the ones who need more attention and are out there more and more. If you want Scooter Mom to show a small channel, send her clips and links, since you are making clips and sharing links. It's easy to do, whether you protest and or watch that needs you.
Hello. Anybody here catch that little sneak peek? Because I did, and oops, stuff happens. Welcome in. I don't know what's happening anywhere right now. Hello, Buttercup. I have been completely cut off from everything so far today, except for the Ontario Premier clapping back a little at a certain occupant of the White House. And I only caught that accidentally because I was not paying that close attention. Didn't see the sneak peek? Good. I did, but that's okay. It was right before the opening. So it's okay though, because now you get the real thing. Well, I mean, that was the real thing too, but whatever. Hello, Brandon. Welcome in. J-Bat, are you here? Or Fuzzy? Because, you know, I have come to rely on your ability to post those links. And I don't want to go back. So just a little wave, something. That would be nice. I don't know about anybody else. We have had rain here today. It's a little cooler. So I'm starting out with the hoodie on. Who knows what's going to happen? Because as soon as I go live, for some reason, my body temperature starts to rise, and I have absolutely no idea why that is, other than some maybe mild anxiety. I don't know. I do hope that everybody else is having some decent weather. I am not minding the rain and slightly cooler temperatures because, we need rain. And as long as there's no, hello, cat, welcome in. As long as there is no lightning starting any fires, I'm good with it. Hello, Style. I am not seeing anything from J-Bat yet. And I know Cricket is traveling, so he likely will not be here today. And we will miss him, but he needs to enjoy a little time off, just like we all do. Let's see, what else? I'm assuming that Chicago has either had or is about to have some cooler, rainy weather too. I am always PG rated, Brandon. I will just tell you that. Scooter report. Hello, Faded Joe. 102 in your part of LA. Yikes. I will attempt to turn the fan. Hello, J-Bat. Phew. Okay. Whew. I will attempt to turn the fan, Faded Joe, so that maybe we can send you some of our cooler wind and rain style. Oh, you haven't had it? Because I have noticed that quite often our weather is very similar within like a day or two of Chicago or the Chicago-ish area. So I thought for sure Brandon, you don't know me well enough. Hello, Brian. Welcome in. So let's see. How are we doing here for time? Not bad. It actually rained where you are, Brian. Well, that's good. That is good. Anywhere that needs the rain should have it, but not so much that it becomes, a flood or another issue that we have to deal with. But it would be really nice if we would just, take care of our planet, not to get all, oh, I don't know, environmental on you. But I'm just saying. And I am certainly not perfect about it, but I do try to remember. Uh, and of course, I am dealing with cat hair in my lipstick again. Well, actually, it's gloss, but still. Oh, joy. Oh, I saw something about Arkansas. Let me get back up there. You're in the middle of Arkansas. Oh my gosh. What the heck? My chat is jumping on me. I'm in the middle of Arkansas, right in the northern boundary of all that nasty heat. Ugh, Brian. Let's see what else. You've had, Style says, we've had 3 nice days after heat, smoke, 3 rounds of kilostorms, 7 tornadoes, and Gary still without power? Power. Oh, yuck. Power. Yikes. Kind of need that. Brandon was in Las Vegas 4 days ago. It was a high of 107, and that was the cool day. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Yikes. Just got a haircut, long overdue, dripping sweat. Faded Joe, I would imagine so. I am myself due for a trim, although not dripping with anything currently, thankfully. Well, I wish you all weather that you need. How's that? Okay, so I guess we might as well get started because our all important JBAT is here. So that means as long as I can keep the wheels on the train, we'll be able to manage. Hi, and welcome to Scooter's Anti-Cult Report, where we focus on the ending Scientology channels with less than 1.5K subs. And if you happen to tip over 1.5K and you're still doing the work and you're not, picking on other people, then I'm still likely to show you. No worries. I am happy to have you here, as always. The purpose of this show is to boost positive attention to the smaller or boutique style channels in the anti-Scientology movement. If they are working to end the abuses of Scientology and not end others in the movement, I would like to feature that work. I will also share some of the larger channels, but my focus will always be on featuring the smaller channels. I show clips and shorts here, so please follow all the links to watch the full videos and subscribe to everyone. For those of you on the replay, please know that I try to make sure that I put the links in the description after the live stream. And yes, words are already getting hard. And pardon me for just a moment because my nose has decided it wants to play. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that will hold it over. Alrighty, so just a little reminder to everyone who is not familiar with the structuring of the channels that I'm featuring. I have chosen to feature the larger channels at the beginning of the show, and that gives people time to, if they're running late, if they're driving and need to be able to, arrive at their destinations first, whatever the case may be. Before I move on to the channels that I particularly want you to pay attention to. Hello, CBF. Welcome in. So, as our hello, Big Chief. Hope your nose was not about to start running, because if it was going to run, I would tell you to go after it. Yeah. See, I knew you were going to say that. Brandon, thank you so much. I no longer feel so old because that joke is not the freshest. Big Chief, did I say hello? Because I meant to. Hello, Lori. All right, so for one of our first bigger channels today, Joy Villa is still talking about her experiences in Scientology and educating people. And in this clip, she is talking with Brandon Straka, who I do not know at all. And that's okay, because I don't need to. While I hunt for my links, I know nothing about Brandon Straka. I've never seen his channel before. And that's okay, because it's a big YouTube, right? All right, here we go.
She's popular. I've made it. I've made it. Like, I did it. I built this with my bare hands through all the pain and suffering. And Scientology took credit for everything. They would call me in. I'd be in trouble all the time. They'd be like, why did you tweet this? Why did you say this? It sounds like you're trying to leave Scientology. Why are you tweeting about churches? And I'm like, because my friend's church is trying to get closed down. And I'd be sweating because it'd be like in a room with a hot light, and they close the door, and they really capture you and make you tell them everything. If you masturbate, they want to know, what did you use? What did you watch? And did you come? How many times? You better tell them in all that detail. Every single thing. And by the way, you're paying for that. It's called confessional procedure. It's a painful thing. Everybody hates it in Scientology, but everybody's forced to do it. So there are dossiers this thick. You have volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
So, I am actually really glad that Joy is still doing her thing, because the more people that are out there telling their experience, hello, Antics, the better it is. The more chance there is that it's going to reach people who, up until this point, still have not heard about the dangers of Scientology. So, all perspectives of experience to warn people about it are a good thing, in my opinion. And she does draw a lot of eyes and ears. So, you know what? That's great. I know that she's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's absolutely okay. Because, we're not expected to like every single person on this earth. If that were the case, I would be in really big trouble. Anyway, Streets LA is still doing his thing as Scientology Audit, and you just never know when he's going to pop up. But Scientology is so over him. He just does not care. And I love that.
Look, he doesn't eat either. They don't feed these guys anything. This guy is starving, and he's like 98 years old. He's got a billion-year contract, and I mean, he's probably halfway through his billion-year contract, but come on now. They shouldn't have him doing this. Hey, Scott, you gotta go back in. Suppressive person out here. You got the security, they're telling you gotta go inside. You have no control over your life. They tell you what to do, and they got handcuffs. They'll handcuff you. You don't want that. Poor guy. There's no retirement for this, huh? There's no retirement.
And I do love, especially when Streets shows empathy, because I think a lot of people forget that he actually does have empathy. But it's so good. And yes, that guy should be, relaxing by a pond, fishing, or, going to a baseball game or basketball game. Listen, I know that the NBA is still on their break, but there is the WNBA. And, there are also other leagues. Anything. He should be able to choose what he wants to do and not be ordered to drag himself around. It's just really, really sad. And while with good reason, it is very important that we want to protect the kids from getting into Scientology, in my opinion, maybe because I am seasoned, it's equally important to try to get the seniors out of there and let them live their remaining years in comfort and, doing what it is they actually want to be doing. And yes, CBF, he was all in black, and that cannot be fun I know it's not fun in the hot sun. Granted, this was the evening, but still, he's been wearing those clothes all day into the evening. Not cool. Not cool at all. So I know that most of you know that Natalie has returned to making videos, but I still like to showcase her just a little bit because I am very happy to see her on my screen again. And I know that many of you are as well. And granted, she's not specifically talking about Scientology at the moment, but she is forever, in my opinion, a member of this movement. And if and when she wants to get back to discussing Scientology, I will support her. And I know that many of you already have and will continue to. At any rate, here is a clip. I think it's a clip of Natalie doing her thing in a way that still reaches so many of us on a very deep level.
Like sadness, and of course it does. But nobody told me that grief could also feel like standing in the middle of your own life and having absolutely no idea what to do next. I've started this video probably 20 times, and I really just am unsure of where to start. That feels like the theme in my life right now. I kept thinking I needed a plan. I needed to have something figured out before I came back here. Maybe I needed to be further along in my grief. Maybe I needed to know what direction my life was going in. I have none of these things. Waiting until I'm somehow better is what has kept me quiet the last year. So here I am. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Natalie. I spent decades in Scientology and then escaped with 3 generations of my family. That story is where life after a cult began, and then my life changed again. I lost my partner of 11 years, my Tony, to cancer.
So while I have not lost a partner, hello, Becky. I'm sure that there are others out there who also have not lost a partner, but we've all lost someone at some point in our lives, and grief is something that affects everyone. And when you are someone who is recovering from a high control group, it must be that much harder to deal with emotions when you weren't allowed to have those emotions. And no matter how far out you are from it, I imagine that those ingrained lessons still come up. Anyway, yes, we can all have a little bit of empathy. I agree, Brian. Anyway, I continue to support Natalie, as I'm sure all of you do, and I hope that she feels that from all of us. And fun fact from Style, grief and depression are processed differently in the brain and use different neural pathways. Oh, I was not aware of that. Interesting. Okay, so anyway, let's see, what else have we got here? Well, Apostate Alex, well, he called out Scientology for their attack on the Times after the Times investigation. And, well, let's just say they have no new tricks.
Paper published an undercover investigation. One of their journalists went inside Scientology's Edinburgh branch and found children working as young as the age of 13. And in a classic case of Darvo, Scientology have attacked the journalist. This is a scathing 6-page letter sent by Scientology to the editor of the Times newspaper, calling the investigation discriminatory and religious bigotry. You would have thought a real church, an actual religious organisation, would be shocked at these claims and would promise to do something to end this child labour and child trafficking. But instead, Scientology have gone on the attack. This is what they do best, and all it does is raise even more red flags about their practices. This week, the Times newspaper published an undercover investigation.
So, sorry about that little extra loop. But hey, this is the Scooter Report. This is not a professional newscast, and it never will be. And Dan Walks LA, he continues to show Shannon some love. And you just know she appreciates it from the depths of her being. Can't you just see it all over her face?
Shannon, you are so loved. If you need help leaving your cult, call the Aftermath Foundation. There she goes.
Oops. Sorry. She didn't show it on her face, I don't think. I don't know. You know she does feel it, though. You know she does, right? Alrighty, so I believe it was last week, but don't test my memory because brain farts are us. Antics, Georgina McPhee called into the LAPD commissioners, and Audit captured it. And so this was truly teamwork to show this clip. And I'm just piggybacking on that.
Georgina, can you hear me? Hi, yes, you have 3 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, I'm wondering why it's taken so long to investigate that help sign in the window over on Hubbard Way. That cult has confiscated that street. That street was stolen from the public. LAPD comes out and they tell people and the neighbors in the neighborhood that it's a private street and that it's not accessible to parking, it's not accessible to people walking through. The LAPD doesn't even realize that's a public street, it's not a private street. There was a help sign in the window that one of the protesters got on video. The police were called out. What did the police do? The police just went and talked to their captor and said, hey, what's going on here? And the captor, aka their security guard, said, oh, no, everything's fine. And the police left. Really? That's how the police investigate a help sign in the window. That was never addressed. That was 2.5 years ago. That was the beginning of August 2024, and nothing was ever done. That person wasn't found. That person wasn't interviewed. The cops had complete right to enter that building upon seeing that sign and investigating it. Did they choose to investigate it? No. No, and then when public citizens try to walk down that street, they say, oh, it's a private street.
So, my apologies. I think I let that loop because I don't even know. But to watch it and rewatch it as many times as you like, please make sure that you go and watch that short. And if you're not already following Antics and Audit LA, you have no idea what you are missing out on. Now, AllegedlyCA has been out quite a bit lately. It didn't loop. Okay, thank you, Antics. You know, sometimes the brain does this thing and it just kind of wanders off on me. So AllegedlyCA has an update and a request for all of us. And if you are not watching his videos, I would encourage you to do so, because we all started out as beginners, well, most of us, and you know, it only gets better with practice, and we only practice if we're encouraged. So please have a listen to his message and make sure that you go and watch his videos.
So Scientology they took down my video. They took down the video of the guy screaming. They went after the guy screaming. I don't know why. Hey, everyone, now that they're going after my videos, you have my permission to download every single one of them. I'm gonna post how to do it, so you can spread them, so you can spread the videos far and wide. Okay.
And that is not a bad idea, especially if it's something that that Scientology wants taken down. Style. Brain loops or Fruit Loops, if it's true for you. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's the brain just, I think I'm locked in, and then the brain just says, so silly, and goes and does what it wants to do anyway. Oh, his name is Arthur. Okay, thank you, Antics. I was not aware of that. Yes, I know that he lives on L. Ron Hubbard. Thank you for making sure everyone in the chat knows that, because he's got almost a bird's eye view of a lot of activity. So I appreciate that he has joined the movement and is using his location to do some good with it, and that he has joined the call-in crew, because he's joined a good group of people with that call-in crew. So anyway, ScientoloGeek and Amir discussed the Times investigation of Scientology recently. Yes, there is a tail. She just left me. That was midnight. She may be back. You just never know with her. Anyway, have a listen to what they were listening to as they got started.
Rubbing their hands up and down the torso of the unwell person, and we believe that this 15-year-old girl, in her capacity as the medical liaison officer, was giving or is giving these assists, and that includes to adults and to men.
There's a new investigation published on the Times Online this morning. The Times journalist Tom Ball has been investigating a Scientology church in Edinburgh. He began his research after he met a man called Amir, who'd been a senior executive in the church but had recently left. Amir told him the church in Edinburgh was hiring under 16s to work for them. Tom went undercover to find out more.
Amir suggested that I just go along and I sign up for one of their life improvement courses. So anyone can do them. It tends to be the way that people get into Scientology. So you'll often, if you walk past a Scientology building, you'll often see that they are advertising for something called a personality test. So I went in, took this personality test. The personality test is 200 questions, ranging from sort of reasonably generic stuff like, do you lie awake at night thinking about your regrets, to more specific stuff like, do you think you eat more slowly than other people? So I filled that out. I was then marked on my test, and the result came through and told me that I was depressed, irresponsible, nervous, all these sorts of things, all of which were sort of news to me, really. But they said to me, well, one way to improve this is to take one of our life improvement courses, and we can maybe help you out with these problems that you're having. So that's how I got in.
Once inside the organisation, Tom had a week where he could spend as much time as he wanted at the church. He noticed children milling about and had been told they performed administrative tasks, but that's not the only tasks they seemed to be performing.
So one of the roles that one particular girl we believe trained for was to become a medical liaison officer. This is according to Amir, but he says that in her role, this girl who is 15...
Oops, I guess you're going to have to go and watch that whole video. Yeah, it's... I love that they're also being exposed for their interpretation of his issues that only Scientology can help with. You know, just another exposure of the lies that they share, that they spill to try to draw people in. And you know that they are extremely embarrassed at letting a journalist in and to show up repeatedly for a week. And David Miscavige is probably still raining down holy hell on that entire org. But I am so glad he got in there. So now Eyes to See covered a story that is familiar to many of us, about the two girls who escaped Scientology in Los Angeles. And I wanted to share that with you because it was shared with, I believe it was City Council. I don't recall.
It's from the City Clerk of Los Angeles. Communication from public. Two young girls ran away from Scientology building on L. Ron Hubbard, November 3rd, 2023. One was caught by Odo, the Scientology guard, and taken back. I mean, how many crimes were committed right there? Kidnapping, holding someone against their will. You're not the parent. I mean, where to begin? The other ran to a neighbor's house, and she was afraid of the police, that they were in with Scientology. Well, that kind of goes against everything we've been told, but this young girl probably just knew what was going on. The girl was manhandled by what was said to her father.
So I'm sure that a lot of you here remember that. I know that many of us were watching that night and were incredibly frustrated with the entire situation. It's even that much harder a lot of times when you're watching from a distance and you can't do anything. Hello, Lily Scissorhands. Long time no see. You flew across the country to dog sit in Salt Lake City for your son. Well, that's a very nice mother. I'm not sure that I would be as devoted. But of course, my daughters live in my house, so I don't have to travel. But welcome in, and I'm glad that you're here. Yes, the two girls. That was one of the incredibly frustrating nights. And so disappointing in so many ways, some of which I refuse to comment on. But to see, yes, you get to see your grandsons, and that's excellent, and I'm very happy for you. But the fact that still nothing has been done about that 2 years later, it's just a really good example of why we are still involved in this movement. Yeah. CPS, I have no idea if CPS was called either. Unfortunately, we're not always in a position, and usually not in a position, to be able to get that follow-up information. And it's just, yeah, it's hard to let go of things like that because you don't know what happened afterwards. And all you can do is hope that the girls are able to get into a better situation. I also covered an article that was written about the Times investigation. And so I wanted to also share that with you. And the reason why I'm sharing this stuff with you is, again, because it's so good to see the word getting out, but also these are also links that you can share with other people so that they are also able to find out and share it.
Okay, everyone, this is from the National. Edinburgh Scientology Church employing children to give massages. August 13th. The Scientology building on Edinburgh's South Bridge. Children as young as 13 are being recruited to work in a Scottish Scientology church, with reports suggesting one girl's role involved giving massages, of course. And by the way, this story is freaking exploding everywhere. Make sure I'm on. An investigation by the Times alleges that a number of homeschooled children are being employed at the Scientology Church on Edinburgh's South Bridge. No.
So again, as always, the links are in the chat for you to watch the whole video, but also share. And if you're not subscribed, or if YouTube has mysteriously unsubscribed you, make sure to correct that issue. And again, while we feel like it's blowing up, there are people who do not pay attention to the media and are not necessarily stumbling on these stories. So it is up to us to take advantage of all this attention and share it with the people in our lives. That's just me suggesting that. But I mean, they've done all the work. All we have to do is share a link. Is not that hard. Unless, of course, you have someone that you're trying to share it with that is really, really, really bad at technology. Has anybody seen Rape Guide today? I'm kidding. But if you have someone in your life who is not particularly good at being able to click a link and follow it, or has been warned off of clicking random links because they keep getting snared in scams. I don't know anyone who does that. But you can safely click this link for them and share it with them in their presence, so you make sure that they watch it. And yes, I have warned my daughters that if I ever reach that point where they have to take precautions to make sure I don't fall into the clutches of some scam, that they just have to remind me of who I have tried to protect from the scams. And that will immediately correct any behavior I might be exhibiting, pushing back and saying, I'm perfectly fine. Trust me. And sorry, it's kind of a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. Yeah, I don't know where Rib Guy is. He's probably still, at that cabin or something. And, he's playing with Rib Dog, or who knows, fixing something. Hopefully not technology. But hey, we all love the Rib Guy. Manning recently put up a short showing Scientology is in trouble with the city of New York. And I mean, I knew something was up when they got that partial eviction notice. And I'm so glad Manning has followed up on that. So have a look and make sure that you go and watch this, because I had to watch it a few times to even grasp what it was I was seeing. And also, I don't even care about the music that he's put on there today. So I just let it go with it. But make sure to go and watch the short yourself so that you can get a glimpse of what he's showing us.
Where they have the band. She was working on that ship with Venus to work with. Cruise ship. Yeah, it's a ship of horrors. Yeah.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get me no satisfaction. And I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no, I can't get me no. When I'm riding in my car, and a man comes on the radio, he's telling me more and more about some.
Sorry about that. I cut that off a little early. So yet another reason why you need to go and watch that whole short. Just to give you a little tease, apparently there's an issue with a lack of water for one of the issues that was covered in there. And I mean, people are supposed to be living there. That's definitely not good. I hope that collectively we can get a lot more attention on what Manning has found, because first of all, people should not be living under those conditions. And secondly, I am not at all opposed to tossing hypothetical eggs in Scientology's face whenever possible. So There are now going to be a couple of links in the chat, and I'm not going to show you anything to go with those links, but these are informational and reminders. So the first one is, if you want to see a full video from the Times on their Scientology investigation in Scotland, JBAD is going to put a link in the chat to that video. And since you already have probably a pretty good indication of some of what has come out in the media already, you might be interested in watching their video talking about the whole investigation. And finally, a reminder for everyone to help Save the Garden pay for canvassers to get all Clearwater residents who are legal voters to sign the 2 petitions to stop City Council from handing over Garden Avenue to Scientology. The link is about to be in the chat for you. It's a really hard one. It's hi PLTP. It's SaveTheGarden.org. It's a really, really, really hard address to remember. But if you are like me and have a brain fart or two every couple of minutes, you might need the extra reminder. I'm just saying. Oh, and there is the LAPD Police Commissioners meeting tomorrow, and watch Audit LA. Thank you, Antics. I'm assuming that means that Audit's chair is back in working order, and I am so happy for her, and I hope that it holds this time, because I know that she's had a lot of issues with the sidewalks, particularly around Big Blue, but in LA period, with them damaging her chair, and that's a royal pain that I can kind of understand. I mean, I call myself Scooter for a reason. I ride a mobility scooter, for those of you who are not aware. Oh, it's not fixed yet? Oh, I am so sorry to hear that, Antics. And so she's just decided to risk it, and she's using her old chair until it's fixed. Thank you for that info as well, Antics. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's... LA needs to get their crap together, because that is really, really a bad look. Hello, PLS. Good to see you. It's not easy for her, but she's unstoppable. Yes, Audit is, in fact, unstoppable. And I am in awe and very impressed always. So, in case you all were not aware. Okay, so great timing, PLS. You get to do the replay now. Brain farts, man. I'm telling you, words. I do not know if Carrie Ann is going to be in the corner joint tonight at 7:30 or 8 o'clock Eastern, which is 4:30, 5 o'clock Pacific. But if she is, keep an eye out for her, please. And, give her some love. It's going to get worse too, because it's being predicted to be a worse El Nino year than usual. Oh, and that messes up with the sidewalks even more antics? I was not aware of that. Becky says the sidewalks in LA are horrific. Just to go to the grocery store, I need to drive on the busy street Slauson. I don't know Slauson, but I'm sure you've taken us down it. Those detached sidewalks, thanks to Scientology, are likely to get a lot worse. Yes, I do believe so. Carrie Ann should be on in a little bit. Okay, so The Corner Joint is the name of the channel. I'm pretty sure you're mostly all capable of tracking that down if you are not yet subscribed. It's a nice, chill, relaxed group. And everyone is welcome as long as they behave respectfully. Just like with the Scooter Report or Scooter's Anti-Cult Report. It's the same show, just slightly different wording. But go check her out if you're looking for another video to be watching. Thank you to everyone who sends me clips and links with timestamps. I have noticed that some other people are starting to do it a little more frequently, and I say thank you very much and keep it up. I really appreciate it. It does make it a lot easier to gather things for the show because, there are a lot of channels on YouTube, and I cannot possibly watch them all. Nobody can. But if we have me as the central location to send the links to, and I can give you a little bit of a glimpse, and it's something that you might not ordinarily see or might have missed because YouTube is YouTube, then that's exactly what we're here for. So, special thank you to the mods. I appreciate you. JBat I would never pick favorites, but JBat has become indispensable. Okay, I'm just saying. Thank you all for being here, for your support to me and to all the small channels and the big ones too, if you happen to support them too. Hello, Lorelei. Take care of each other. We're always going to have the ups and downs, and there are always going to be people who don't necessarily get along with each other. That's okay, because that's humanity. But the point I'm trying to make is that we do need to continue to look out for each other. Oh, thank you, Becky. That's why this channel continues to exist. We, in my personal opinion, are stronger when we work together, when we support each other. It doesn't mean that you have to actually like the person, but if they're doing good work, it's not really causing you any harm to acknowledge that. It's just my personal opinion. I'm not your mom. I'm not even your older sister for most of you. Or your more seasoned sister, which is definitely more palatable for me. But if we want this thing that we're all doing to work, then it's really important, in my opinion, to set aside the crap and just support the work. So that's why I always say to take care of each other, to have a good week, and to remember to like who you like and watch who you want to watch. And don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be watching this person because we don't like them. So what? If they're doing good stuff, they deserve to be watched. After all, we're not in a cult. And I will see you next time. Take care.
School and mom celebrates the smaller channels who are working to bring down the cult to protect human rights. School and mom celebrates the smaller channels, the ones who need more attention and are out there more and more. If you want School and Mom to show a small channel, send her clips and links, since you are making clips and sharing links is easy to do. Whether you protest and or watch that needs you.